It's important to understand this for providing her with a truly memorable experience. This is a thoughtful overview of the female anatomy. I refer to it as a review because I understand that some of you may already have some knowledge, while others might not be as familiar. It's important to acknowledge that there are varying levels of understanding among us. This is why this conversation holds significance. Here on the screen, we have a medical image of the vulva for your understanding. It's important to remember that many individuals may misunderstand this situation. It's important to be familiar with the various openings in your body, as understanding them can contribute to your overall health and well-being. This area here is referred to as the vagina. That is indeed the area where, if one is considering penetrative intimacy, penetration would occur. This is also the area from which blood is released during a young lady's menstruation. It's important to note that we have another opening here, which is known as the urethra. It appears that both you and she have a urethra. Now, if you take a look at that small opening right there, the urethra serves as the passage for urine to exit the body in both men and women. The urethra, as you may understand, is connected to the bladder. As the urethra extends outward, that is the pathway through which urine is expelled. It appears to be originating from the bladder and then making its way out completely. It's important to be aware that the urethra runs through the penile tissue, and similarly, her urethra will follow its own path. Please keep this in mind for your understanding. Allow me to present this to you, so you can take a look at this picture and share it with others. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the demonstration I just shared with you regarding the bladder. On the right side, you will observe the anatomy of men, while on the left side, you will find the anatomy of women. It would be wise to refer to them as male and female to avoid any potential misunderstandings. What I would like to gently highlight for you is that this area here represents the prostate of a gentleman. This area here is known as the paraurethral tissue, which includes the glands in women. When examining these glands under the microscope, you will find that these small glands, which I am illustrating here, closely resemble the glands of the prostate. It's natural to wonder, isn't it? You might be asking yourself, how can that possibly be? Men and women have distinct differences. It's important to remember that when male and female embryos are developing in the body, there are various factors at play. Alright, my friend, allow me to present this to you. The tissue is referred to as undifferentiated. This will take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to cover the anatomy involved. Allow me a moment to make some adjustments, so I can present this to you. This is the beginning of our journey together up here. Very well. As it transitions into the female form, it essentially maintains its core characteristics. The small yellow area at the top is actually the clitoris. The yellow area on the male develops into the glands of the penis. Indeed, it seems that the green area in males tends to gradually close up, doesn't it, and shape the penis. The green area on a female begins to develop into the labia, specifically the labia minora. As you can observe, it is quite evident that it began in a similar manner and then took on a different path. That is how we ultimately arrive at the clitoral tissue, known as the clitoris. It's important to note that the clitoris can experience engorgement, similar to how other tissues in the body may respond. This can occur at various times, including in the morning. It's important to understand that the clitoris is more than just a small button located at the top. The clitoris, as you may understand, extends into the walls of the vagina. This is why external pressure can be quite pleasant for women. The sensation of pressure against the walls can be quite pleasurable, as it allows for a gentle engagement with the clitoris, which is positioned in a way that enhances this experience. The clitoris has a shape that resembles a wishbone rather than a simple button. It seems that for many years, this has been referred to as a button, hasn't it? With that in mind, could you please explain how it is that this is indeed prostate tissue? As we've discussed regarding prostate health, it's essential to understand the role the prostate plays in the ejaculatory response. It contributes not only a small amount of fluid to the ejaculate, but also plays a crucial role in triggering the release during ejaculation. Now, regarding female genitalia, I would like to share this image with you. This image illustrates what it would look like if we were to remove the outer layers and focus solely on the pelvis, correct? This is her pelvic bone, dear. It seems you are describing a scenario where the female model or cadaver is positioned on their back with their legs elevated. Is that correct? Allow me to provide you with a bit of context, if I may. As I gather my pen here to illustrate my point, I have decided to go with red. This area here is known as the clitoris. Observe how the clitoris has a gentle dip in its structure. Here, we can observe a portion of the clitoris as well. This is the area I mentioned earlier, where it dips down and is located along the walls of the vagina, correct? Now, let's focus on this area here, particularly when we discuss the periurethral glands and their role in the ejaculatory response. It's important to understand how these components interact. When discussing the female G-spot, it's important to understand the technique involved. The focus should be on a gentle motion that goes in and up, rather than a repetitive in and out movement. This area, where the periurethral glands are located, is situated towards the roof of the vagina. Taking the time to explore this approach can lead to a more fulfilling experience. When considering the inner structure, imagine it as a cave or tunnel. It's important to approach it with a gentle upward angle, rather than simply jabbing upwards. Aim for a smooth, gliding motion that allows you to engage not only with the roof, but also with the sides, where the vestibular bulb and clitoral fibers extend deeper. It's important to understand that female anatomy is complex, and the clitoris should not be viewed merely as a small external structure. It's important to understand that there is a specific area within the canal that you should focus on. The region often referred to as the G-spot is key for stimulating the periurethral glands, which can lead to experiences such as squirting or ejaculation during intimacy. Taking the time to explore this can enhance your shared experiences. For those who may be exploring their own bodies, it's important to consider the angle of your movements. Gently guiding upwards can help facilitate a more fulfilling experience, leading to the desired response. Alright, my dear. The vestibular bulb plays a role in the anatomy of the female reproductive system, contributing to the overall function and health of the area. It is important to understand its purpose and how it interacts with other structures in the body. The vestibular bulb refers to the various components of the clitoris, which is an important aspect of female anatomy. Allow me to take a moment to outline this for you in a clear manner. If I were to illustrate the clitoris, it would appear as follows. And I would kindly point out the location of the vestibular bulb for you. This is the aspect that everyone recognizes, appreciates, and holds dear. Now, let's take a moment to consider the areas that may droop or sag like this. What we refer to in clinical terms is known as the vestibular bulb. What you are observing are indeed the walls. The internal structure of the vagina is indeed supported by its walls. It's important to consider that by being a bit creative and adjusting your position slightly to the left or right, you may find that it can lead to a more comfortable experience. It's important to understand how pressure on the perineum can have various effects. In the past, many found that certain movements during dancing could enhance pleasure, as the clitoral fibers extend beyond just the visible part. When considering anatomy, it's helpful to visualize the vulva and its structure. If you have any questions or need clarification, please feel free to ask. When you notice this, it's important to understand why this pressure feels so pleasant for women, as the fibers are all located in this area. It seems that when the fibers are all present in this area, applying pressure can indeed provide a sense of relief and comfort. That sounds wonderful. Additionally, let's discuss why some women may find it challenging to achieve climax in the missionary position. It seems you are making every effort to encourage her to try the missionary position. It seems you might be feeling quite surprised. She kindly suggested, why not try this? And she provides you with a vibrator. She suggests that you simply use your mouth. It's important to understand that when there isn't sufficient pressure in this area, it can affect the experience. I would recommend adjusting your angle to ensure that you're applying pressure effectively. Additionally, consider allowing your pubic bone or hair to make contact with her mound, as this can enhance the overall sensation due to the fibers present in that region. It's important to understand that the pleasurable sensations during penetrative sex can be attributed to the way the clitoral fibers are distributed throughout that area. There has been considerable discussion surrounding this topic, as until recently, our clinical textbooks in medical school did not adequately convey that the clitoris extends deeper than commonly understood. It appears that during surgical procedures, there were instances where clitoral fibers were inadvertently affected, as there was a lack of recognition regarding their significance as part of the clitoris. It seems you aspire to exceed the standard teachings. It's important to understand that the clitoris extends deeply into the surrounding tissue, and the bulb is indeed an extension of that structure. It's interesting to note that the names of these anatomical structures are quite similar. For instance, we refer to the bulb of the penis, don't we? The bulb of the penis is an important area to consider. When performing shockwave therapy clinically, it is essential to ensure that the treatment effectively targets the bulb of the penis. It is essential to address this aspect when utilizing shockwave therapy, as it pertains to the strength of the muscle, specifically the bulbous spongiosum, which plays a crucial role in maintaining an erect and upright position. That's wonderful to hear. That's a thoughtful inquiry.